There needs to be a gut check everywhere in Baltimore. Don't just look at it and say, what are the police going to do? Because they were right where they were supposed to be. These folks don't care about that. These are grown individuals who are acting like little children.
That was Mayor Brandon Scott and Police Commissioner Michael Harrison after a triple shooting on Sunday that left 2 people dead. As of Monday morning, there have been 176 people who've been killed this year alone. That's an 8.5% increase compared to the same time last year. As for non-fatals, 350 people have been shot in Baltimore City this year. That's a 4.8% increase compared to this time last year. With both statistics on the rise, we're pressing these two, the leaders of the city and the people that you elected to help run Baltimore, to find out what's being done to drive a change. Nearly 20 people shot, 2 of them dying in Baltimore City over the weekend. Baltimore City Commissioner Michael Harrison says the issue is beyond patrol.
It's more than just good policing.
Harrison and Mayor Brandon Scott argue the issue is a lack of swift and certain consequences,
which are not just for police alone. It's for everything that happens after the arrest.
Are you saying that the consequences in place right now aren't either being implemented or aren't strong enough?
What we can say is that we are arresting the same offenders over and over again, and some of the offenders we arrest are turning into shooting and homicide victims. And so they are not being deterred simply by police presence.
If people aren't afraid of the consequences that are in place right now, and they're not perhaps receiving the level of consequences that are on the books, what needs to change?
People aren't afraid of them because they're not certain. That's the reality. And I know the data is there. It's about the certainty of consequences.
Scott, Harrison both come close to calling out City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby for her role in the crime crisis, but neither going as far as criticizing her specifically.
To do that job, you need partners. Do you think she's being a qualified and adequate partner?
Well, it's not my job to do her evaluation. I am not her boss to do her evaluation.
So Fox 45 News asking her directly what she's doing to ensure there is swift and certain consequences for those shooting and killing people in Baltimore.
The accountability that's being had for my office is inside of that courtroom. And so, yes, we will continue to go after the bad guys.
Mosby not accepting responsibility, rather saying the criticisms are becoming political as she fights for voters to re-elect her to a 3rd term. While the mayor and the police commissioner both say that one of the keys to curbing this violence is those swift and certain consequences, but you have to remember that those leaders, they didn't support a bill coming out of Annapolis during this last legislative session backed by Republican Governor Larry Hogan called the Violent Firearms Offender Act. This piece of legislation would have cracked down on people using guns in crimes, as well as implementing stricter penalties for those who do use guns in their crimes. This plan did not come out of the session in its original written form. In the meantime, these two are calling for these consequences that this language would have called for. At the Accountability Desk, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.